What's happening, guys? Sorry about that. Good morning, Europe. I had my microphone muted. Good morning, Europe, and happy Wednesday, everyone. We are broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch TV in an effort of bringing the financial markets to your doorstep and help each and every one of you make informed decisions about investments and the amazing CFDs market. The episode today is sponsored by our partners at Forexy and Markets.com. If you like the content, guys, please remember to like, share, and subscribe and support us in delivering more great content. Shortly after this morning's market review, we're going to have Joao Monteiro in the studio, founder and CEO at Forexy, with more news and details about the markets and also the latest news about Forexy's products and contests. So stay tuned and don't miss out. Busy day in the economic calendar. We start the day with the consumer price index numbers coming from UK, followed by the ECB President Christine Lagarde having a press conference at 10:30. Right, bear with me for just a second. Right, okay. Now, moving on. We're going to have retail sales and the new housing price index on the Canadian dollar announced around 3:30 this afternoon. And probably the most expected event today, the crude oil inventories to be announced at 5:30 GMT plus 3. Let's see what happened on the U.S. front overnight, where the White House and Democrats in the U.S. Congress moved closer to an agreement on a new COVID relief package yesterday, as Donald Trump said he was willing to accept a large aid bill despite opposition from his own Republican Party. Negotiations will continue today, and hopefully they will reach an agreement regarding the stimulus bill, U.S. Democrat Nancy Pelosi stated late yesterday. Let's see what's going to happen with that, guys. We're going to have some more news in the afternoon at the U.S. markets opening. Until then, the giant Netflix announced its third quarter numbers last night after market closing. That disappointed investors, sending the Netflix share price down 6%, guys. Big drop for Netflix. Apparently, it didn't go as well as they expected. Now, moving on to Europe, guys. Let's have a quick look at the economic calendar. We see the Euro Stocks 50 were up 0.25% this morning. German DAX futures were up 0.28%, and the FTSE 100 futures also gained almost 0.2%. Investors continue to monitor the progress of Brexit talks between the UK and the EU, with both sides calling for the other party to compromise to save the fast deteriorating talks. Even though it had a little rally yesterday, oil futures dropped again close to the $41 mark following the API oil stockpiles, showing a surprise increase in American crude reserves. Now, the best performer on the US and Asian trading session last night, guys, was gold, that jumped approx $12, trading as high as $19.24 on the Asian session. And the other one was your favorite, guys, the Bitcoin, that broke last night the $12,000 mark, trading as high as $12,271. Well done, Bitcoin. Now, let's have a quick look at the charts together with Joao Monteiro, founder and CEO at Forexy, guys. We are coming back live with Joao Monteiro in 30 seconds. Stay tuned and don't miss out. And we're back, guys. Good morning, Europe. Good morning, everyone. And good morning, Joao Monteiro.
Good morning, Andrew. Thank you very much once again for inviting me. And it's the first time I'm also in this new setup.
Yes, welcome to our new setup.
I'm very surprised and happy to be here with you.
Always a pleasure to have you here. How are you doing, first of all? I know it's early in the morning for you. Did you manage to wake up yet?
No, I did. I always wake up very early, so I'm always paying attention to what the market is bringing us. So I'm happy that we are seeing some good volatility now, a few weeks behind the US elections. So I want exactly the market to keep this rhythm because it's good for us, it's good for the clients, it's good for the market as well. So I'm monitoring everything very closely and happy to see that also daily on the
Of
on the
course I
charts.
am. Of course I am. This is what I do for a living. Now, let's have a quick look at the charts, guys, and see what happened overnight. We're going to start with oil, and Joao Monteiro will help us hopefully understand better what is going on with the most traded assets. Currently, we see oil trading at 41.34 on a 1-hour chart. We saw oil rallying a bit overnight on the Asian trading session. But as things stand right now, we see oil pointing downwards with the RSI and the stochastic again pointing downwards. Joao, what's your view on this? Because we see OPEC and OPEC Plus announcing they are looking to stabilize the oil markets around the $60-$65 mark. Currently, we're trading at 41.34 from what we see here. I mean, we are a million miles away from.
There's still some room
target.
for the uptrend. I think obviously the market, and we saw now stocks the storage, let's say, of the oil as we saw yesterday.
They are oversupplied.
They are oversupplied, and so obviously this will affect. We'll see some drop, but I believe on the long term we'll see always to try the 60.
It
range.
has to, yeah, it has to. I mean, the $60-$65 mark was a ranging market for quite a while. If we look at the charts, let's have a look at the charts on a daily chart, okay, and zoom out a bit. There you go. Yeah, we're looking at a ranging market that lasted for, what was it, 2 years? Yes. Yeah, 1 year, 2 years. That was the price. Yes, somewhere around $60 to $65 or 55 to 65 if we're talking about a wider range. Yeah, obviously on the charts, on a daily chart, we can see the massive drop that happened a few months ago when oil went almost close to zero.
Correct. No, yes, and future went negative. So it's
yeah, but that was again because they had to pay and get rid of the oversupply.
Exactly. I wish I would have bought it at close to zero.
Man, the trading, and correct me if I'm wrong, many brokerages actually stopped the trading that night.
Not only that, some brokers not only stopped the trading, as many the platform cannot show a negative price. So many brokers went into loss during that period, exactly because the prices went negative, but the platform shows zero. So they took that hit themselves.
They actually stopped the trading.
So the trader do not realize sometimes that the risk that is also involved for the brokerage.
For the brokerage.
Yes.
How did Forexy do at that point, by the way? Did you take a big hit when the oil numbers went down?
As you know, that we offer CFDs, so we are our price never went negative. So what we show, what shows in the platform is exactly what we get. We were forced exactly to interrupt the oil prices for a few hours, exactly because our liquidity providers instruct us to do so, and also we felt that
they couldn't cover basically the trades.
That would be very difficult to offer a very quality pricing. And so we at that time we stopped it, but I wished, and at that time I was very tempted to go long, because you cannot stay negative field forever.
No, when the oil price reaches zero, I mean, come on, it's a no-brainer not to try and go long.
I know few clients of mine which made very good money out of that movement, a long position on the crude oil.
All right, now let's move on. So where do you see? I mean. Where do you see oil? We can see oil dropping, but if we look at it again on a 1-hour chart, and then again, help me or contradict me if I'm wrong. Overall, we see oil creating higher lows, and higher highs.
Yes.
Okay, so overall, OPEC and OPEC Plus is looking to push oil prices higher and potentially stabilize the markets. Okay, the question is, where will they stabilize it?
Looking to the chart is clearly that we might see the support touching the 40s, the range. I'd see, at least my technical analysis points into 40 range on the.
All right, I'm with you. Now let's move on. Let's move on and talk about the European currencies. We see the euro doing amazing overnight. Amazing rally for the euro. It's currently trading at 118.58. Okay, on a weak dollar, we saw a correction of 100% from the previous high, which was this one. Yeah, so now the markets, as we're looking at, are corrected 100%. The question is, will we see the euro strengthening even more and doing the 100% correction for the other previous high that it had earlier on? What's your view on this one? We see Christine Lagarde speaking publicly almost every day.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and announcing new things for the euro and the eurozone. She's talking about the stimulus measures. She's supporting the European businesses. What's your view on the euro? Are we going to see the euro going higher towards the 120 level?
We might, but I'm always a bit skeptic and a bit concerned at this, especially during this period where we have the possibility of new lockdowns in Europe, where we have also the US elections, now that we are looking to the euro dollar chart, which have also obviously the impact. So we are in a period of uncertainty.
Big uncertainty.
I do not feel that the euro have currently the strength to continue going to the 1.20 mark.
Does any currency have the strength now? Because this COVID pandemic and the lockdown, and I'm going to get to the lockdown in a few seconds, is affecting the entire world.
Absolutely.
Not just Europe, not just US, not just China, or the Asian markets. We see it affecting the entire world.
Yes. I think now we need to understand now also the policies and the new stimulus, which we might find out more during the day today. In the US, which will affect as well many other assets, such as following very closely. And so my idea and my understanding is clearly to keep monitoring now the new policies and the new interventions in order to make sure that we enter the market at the right time and at the right price.
I'm with you. Now let's have a quick look. Let's talk about the lockdown that happened in Ireland yesterday. So we saw UK announcing some cities entered into lockdown. We saw Ireland announcing that they went into lockdown for about 6 weeks. Okay, and other European countries are also talking about the lockdown measures. How bad is that going to affect the European currencies and the pound?
I think, starting from the European currencies, I definitely believe that all the countries in Europe will follow the same instructions in terms of lockdowns, in terms of quarantine. I'm sorry for that, and I hope it doesn't happen. But I really believe that soon, in the next few weeks, we'll have all Europe again trying to minimize the damage from this virus.
Yep.
This is something that I don't think any country is happy with it. They are just obliged to do so in order to minimize exactly that.
Yeah, because their economies are crashed effectively.
But it's better if they are already crashed. So at this point, I believe that it's better to minimize it and make it once for all, with all the measures in place, and guarantee that this is finally controlled, than to just keep delaying and impacting the economy, impacting everyone's lives forever. So
I'm with you.
And then we have on the pound, I think. More than the lockdown is the
Brexit situation.
The Brexit situation.
Yes, correct. No doubt about it. The Brexit situation is weighing heavily on the pound. Yes. Looking at the pound right now, we see it trading at 130.19. We see it pushing higher. Yeah. Let's have a quick look on the economic calendar and see how the consumer price index and the producer price index input came out today. We see producer price index coming out positive at 1.1%, way higher than the previous and the forecast. We see the CPI, the consumer price index, month to month, coming down to 0.4%, 1 point lower than the forecast, which was 0.4%, but way better than the previous, which was a negative 0.4%. So even though UK's economy and European economies are struggling right now, we can still see a bit of an improvement, even though the consumer price index came out red. Okay, this is what probably is pushing the pound today a bit higher. Okay, after the announcement, let's remember in exactly 11 minutes from now, we're going to have Christine Lagarde, the ECB president, holding another press conference. She spoke public starting last week, I think, every day. And we saw a lot of members from the European Central Bank having press conferences. Are they trying to calm down investor sentiment?
I believe so. I think that we are in a position where this information needs to be passed clearly. We are in a moment where, in a delicate moment in the markets, where I think it's important to calm down investors, calm down everyone who is related to this kind of market.
Yeah.
And so they need to exactly to pass the message and to pass the information clearly. At this point, as I mentioned, is more of trying to understand which measures will be released, and I think they are trying to exactly to be clear in all points. And I think I'm curious to see what
the outcome will be.
What outcome will be and what will be said today.
Exactly. Now, this is what's happening with the pound, guys. Looking at the pound again, just like oil, it seems to be creating higher highs. Okay, slowly, higher lows and higher highs. Okay, let's hope that good news coming from UK, for example, that they are at the negotiations table again with the European Union, and they're looking to get to an agreement, and avoid the hard Brexit.
This reminds me that kind of negotiation tactics that some companies used a long time ago, and they are still used. I don't do what you want me to do. I want this way. The answer is no, and I say okay, so I'll do it as the way you want. So I think the UK and Mr. Boris Johnson is exactly trying to do that. Exactly. I don't want. Okay, this is what we have. Okay, I'll take it. And so this is exactly what we've been seeing is a negotiation playing with the time. Clock is ticking, and I think by end of the year they will not have many other options than to accept December, what is on the table. At least this is my opinion.
How I see it, I mean, they had 4 years to try and agree on something. I think both parties are literally drained out from trying to find the common ground. Okay, and I don't see this going further than 31st of December this year.
Absolutely not.
This is the deadline. Even Christine Lagarde said that a couple of weeks ago, if I remember correctly. She said, as much as I feel for UK, our job and my job as the ECB president is to protect the best interests of European countries and Europe. Okay, so
correct.
I think this is the end, basically. 31st of December will be the end. One way or another, UK will leave the European Union. And let's see what they're going to leave behind, because we're talking about hundreds of, if not thousands of businesses relocating from UK in the last year or so, on news that we might come across a hard Brexit.
Yes, and not only that, is that the impact on the tax point of view for the businesses which will remain, and the consequence that will have for their businesses can be devastating. So they need to be extremely careful. The way, obviously, negotiation it's part of the deal. I think as any other country, they are trying to get the best, to squeeze the best out of it. But at the end of the day, the outcome of not reaching an agreement can be catastrophic.
Catastrophic.
So
on top of the COVID crisis.
So I don't think that avoiding talks is not more than a negotiation tactic, because they are in a very delicate position.
True, I'm with you. Okay, let's move on. Let's have a quick look at USD JPY. We see the US dollar dropping heavily on the Asian trading session on more bad news coming from the States. Aussie dollar got a bit of a push on the Asian session last night, guys. But as things look from here, it might still continue the downtrend. Joe, by the way, I was talking about the head and shoulders patterns that we often see on the charts. Does this look like a head and shoulders pattern to you?
Not really.
Not really. Okay, no problem.
At least for me. At least for me.
That's why I'm asking. Right, let's move on to USD Canadian. Again, we see the US dollar suffering massive drops overnight versus the Canadian dollar. After the European opening, we see a bit of a rebound, but the markets are still very, very shy. Hopefully, we're going to get a clear indication in the afternoon when we're going to have more announcements coming on the Canadian dollar and on the US dollar. Okay, we're going to have FOMC member Mester speaking later on, just 30 minutes ahead of the crude oil inventories. Okay, and later on, again, we're going to have another ECB meeting, guys. We're going to have another ECB press conference.
They love meetings.
They love meetings. The last couple of weeks, we see the European Central Bank is trying to calm down the population in regards to financial markets and the financial crisis that hit Europe along with the COVID pandemic. Moving on, we're going to have a look at the S&P 500, guys, which even though it opened on a positive note yesterday, we saw the Dow Jones opening almost 200 points higher at the U.S. opening. It still closed the day in red. This weighted heavily, the deadline for the stimulus weighted heavily on the American indices. What are we doing, Joao? Are we going to see the American indices ending the year in red like they did the last couple of years, if I'm not mistaken?
It will all depend on the outcome of the U.S. elections, I believe. But I do believe that yes, we might see a correction. I think at the end of the year, normally we'll see always some profit taking, some positions, people leaving the market. So it's normal, and I expect exactly to close the year in red.
You expect to close the year in red like we did last year, like we did 2 years ago?
I'm practically convinced that I'm seeing it. It will depend, obviously, on the outcome from the elections. We all know the repercussions that either winner will have in the U.S. market. So we need to keep an eye on that. However, we need to understand something is that if you see the market behavior from the last, let's say, 100 years, you always see a pullback of 10%, even 20% every 2 or 3 years. So its market always needs to correct.
Yes, correct. We're looking at the charts on a daily chart right now. We can see the big drop that happened in February 2019. Yeah? Yes, big drop, and then we can see the markets correcting and even going to 110% correction.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
now the hit is nowhere near. Yeah, the drop is nowhere near the drop we saw in February, okay, or March when the first wave hit. But the second wave is way worse than the first wave.
I really expect that this will see a very sharp drop. However, as any other period of crisis, and like the last World War, you'll see how the market recovered after that period. We need to understand the impact of this COVID in the world economy. So I really believe that the market will drop sharply. On the other hand, I believe that also that we'll see a very fast recovery on the first quarter of 2021.
Exactly. So you believe the recovery might happen in the first quarter, January, February, something.
First and second quarter of next year. Yes.
All right. Okay. Now let's move on. Let's have a quick look at the US dollar index, guys, which again suffered massive losses on the US trading session as well as the Asian trading session. We see trading at a support level, very important support level around the 92.82 level. Now, what scares me, man, what freaks me out is that if it's going to break this support level, we might see it going as low as the 91 or 92, let's say. Yeah, I'm trying to be nice with it and say we might see it dropping down to 92 or even more. Yeah, even lower towards the 91.80 level. Okay, this can only mean one thing. Gold is being pushed higher and higher. We see currently gold doing really well. It gained above $12 on the Asian trading session. It's currently trading at 19.22. Okay, what was the peak a couple of months ago? Let's have a quick look and see what was
around 2075.
Right, 2076.88 from what we see here. That was the peak. Now the question is, do you reckon we're going to see gold reaching the 2000 level again this year by December?
I expect the gold to reach 2,200.
2,200.
This is
based on the elections.
Based on the elections, based also obviously the fluctuation of US dollar, based on the stimulus, which we might see a positive outcome
or not.
But I really believe that they will reach an agreement on that regard. So all the conditions are being made exactly to see the gold again getting traction, and I really believe by end of the year we'll see gold again on the 2,000, passing the 2,100 mark.
We might see reaching the $2,000 mark again. Very well said, very well said. But it all has to do with the U.S. elections, guys. Keep an eye on the U.S. elections. Watch them live with InstructFX and its partners, Forexy and Markets.com. And stay informed with the latest movements on the market. Now, moving on, we're looking at Brent oil futures currently trading at 42.72. Brent oil, from what we see here, is ranging. Yeah, we see a wide range as well as a narrow range. Okay, I'm just going to draw average lows and average highs on the chart. Yeah, we see the average lows, the support level, somewhere around the 41.63 mark. Okay, and the average highs, I'd say somewhere there in that region, around the 43.31. Okay, and the intermediary support level is somewhere here. Right, okay. Now, again, Brent oil depends very much on supply and demand, and a saturated market with very, very little demand is unlikely to drive the oil prices higher, at least as things stand right now. Guys, we see the RSI and the stochastic pointing downwards. Yeah, we might see a bit of a pullback on Brent oil futures today to test the lows at 42.29. Yeah, about, what is it, 40, 50 pips, somewhere there. Okay, alternatively, if they're going to push higher, yeah, I'm sure traders will aim for the 43.27, 43.25 mark. Okay, let's see what the markets will bring for us today. Moving on, we're having a look at silver futures, which again did fairly well, I'd say, on the Asian trading session. Silver is doing well every time gold is doing well. They tend to move together. And now let's move to your favorite, guys. Let's move to your favorite, the Bitcoin, which is currently trading at 12,213. Excellent rally for the Bitcoin. It jumped over $200, over $300 in the last 12 hours, I think. And I think in the last 24 hours, we see Bitcoin jumping around $1,000. Yeah, we're somewhere in that region. Now, question to Joao: why do you think Bitcoin jumped like that? I have a theory, but I want you to say it.
My theory is simple, and I think is the theory of the theory of most of the traders is the one of the assets of uncertainty. The same way people invest in gold and in these moments of uncertainty, they also do it now on a crypto.
That is the thing. Is Bitcoin becoming a safe haven slowly?
Definitely. I think more and more is becoming more and more regulated, more and more supervised, more options in terms of buying and selling. There's more than, if I'm not mistaken, more than 50 million wallets already of Bitcoin around the world. So we are talking becoming definitely an option to reduce the bureaucracy, reducing the controls in terms of how to move funds worldwide. We are in a moment where it's not clear what's going to happen, especially on the fiat currencies, as we just mentioned. So this uncertainty makes it an interesting product asset to hold. And myself, I do have Bitcoin.
I know currently. You do, and not just Bitcoin. I know you have more currencies.
So I'm always a happy trader on the crypto world.
Looking at the charts, at the Bitcoin charts, guys, on a daily chart, we see that Bitcoin reached, let's say, an all-time high in the last year or so. It was in June 2019. We see Bitcoin reaching 13,828. Currently, it's trading at 12,200. We're about, what is it? About $1,300. Yeah, from the most recent, let's say, all-time high that happened in a year. Joe, what do you reckon? Are we going to see Bitcoin reaching the $13,000 mark, 13,600, 700 anytime soon? Looking at the charts.
I believe so. And my opinion is that we'll see the Bitcoin touching again the higher history price that it was $20,000. I believe by next year. This is my understanding.
That's your understanding, that by next year we might see Bitcoin trading at 20,000 again.
Yes.
Right. Okay, guys, that is top news. Yeah, Bitcoin might be trading to 20,000 by next year, or at some point next year.
Yes.
When do you see it? In the first quarter, second quarter next year?
I would say third, fourth quarter of next year. We might see it again touching that, because it's exactly goes in opposite way of the economy of what we've been seeing lately. So I really expect people start the adoption of cryptocurrencies to increase, more and more funds and any other vehicles that are starting to integrate crypto as well. So I really believe that it will get again into the records.
It is very doable. It is very possible. Now, U.S. elections. Let's talk about the U.S. elections. We have less than 2 weeks till the U.S. elections, till the final round. Okay, do you still think Donald Trump will win the U.S. elections? Because I remember we had the same chat about a month ago, and I was on the same page with you. Yeah. I saw Donald Trump, but now Donald Trump is about 10 points, if I'm not mistaken, behind Joe Biden. What do you reckon? Do you really believe he might win the elections again this year?
My opinion is yes. I think I still believe that he's going to win. Obviously, we have the impact now is a bit more quiet, let's say, in result of the small COVID that he claims that he recovered fully.
It might have, it might have happened. I mean, no doubt about
some people say that it was poor strategic.
Many people think the same.
But I honestly believe. I think I'm not. I don't live in US, as you know, and so for me, I see it as an outsider, and my understanding is not with the pressure of understanding or deciding something
or gaining something from it,
gaining something out of it. But my understanding is yes, I really believe that if you see it from an economic point of view, I believe that there was a lot of positive sides from his mandate. Is a very, very how do you say it? Peculiar and
he's a character. I mean, no doubt about it. He's going to be in the history books forever.
And so there's a lot of enemies and a lot of people that hate him, and so it's not going to be an easy decision. I will not be surprised whatever is the final decision, but I still believe that comparing. This is my understanding. A person that is a businessman and he been focusing and managing as if it was a corporation.
Yeah, to make America great again.
Have, in my opinion, better outcome than a person that obviously been vice president for 20-something years.
Right. Okay, I'm with you. My support for Donald Trump, and I'm getting a lot of hate for it, and I don't care, to be honest. I mean, I see it as a businessman. I see it as a business person. So just to make it clear, yes, I do support Donald Trump from the business point of view. I do think Donald Trump can manage to make America great again from the cash perspective. He managed to bring a lot of money back into the country. However, when it comes to public speaking and statements, I'm not sure he's the most appropriate.
No, definitely not. But
did you see yesterday when he picked on Anthony Fauci?
Yes.
Really bad, man. I mean, really bad thing. No. Also, he tweeted the other day, he said that Joe Biden is a threat to national security. Okay, now these statements, I don't know, I'm sure he has a bunch of advisors, an army of advisors and everything.
I don't think he follows all the recommendations. Otherwise,
I don't think he follows any recommendations, to be honest.
Quiet most of the time.
I don't think he follows any recommendations, and this is weird. Now, he was this close of leading in this round of elections, if he could only just hold back from tweets like that and statements like that. What do you reckon?
Definitely has a negative impact on these numbers, but we'll see. We still have a few weeks to go. Maybe we will have something shocking or something new, something with a big impact in the markets during the next few days. They are always releasing new data, new information. So I'm curious to follow. But I think for this year, 2020, is definitely the biggest.
This moment, is the hardest year, I think, in the last 50 years or 100 years.
And also the biggest opportunity of trading as well for people who follow the news and follow the impact that this will have in the market.
Do you know what's surprising right now? I mean, let's say if on average, you need 1% or 2% or 5% luck, with your trades, because no matter how good you are, financial markets are always unpredictable. I think this year, or in the second quarter of this year, the second half of this year, I think you need more than 5% luck. I think you need 10-15% luck.
Yes.
Is long-term trading this year basically non-approachable anymore?
My depends on the asset that you are trading, but I think there's more probability to be on the short than on the long this year. True. So we'll see how it goes. But obviously the market's changing in minutes. So there's no big analysis we can give at this stage
for the long term.
The long term.
All right, we see most hedge funds, we see JP Morgan, we see Goldman Sachs announcing all sorts of things every day. Some of them are going short full time. Some of them are just, as you said, they're looking at other assets. Some of them even take a break from trading until the U.S. elections. Correct. What's going to happen from here on? Only time will tell. Now, let's move on and have a look at some trading signals from investing.com. We see the euro and the pound stuck in a strong buy on all 4 time frames on a 5-minute, 15 minutes, hourly, and daily chart. So apparently, again, the European currencies tend to do well today. We see the US dollar on a strong sell versus the JPY and the Swiss franc. Finally, a bit of clarity with the trading signals, because this week, guys, was very, very difficult, even for heavy analysts and experienced people of the market to try and predict something for, let's say, 24 hours. Okay, and something that points in the same direction. We saw mixed trading signals, in the last couple of days. We see the USD Canadian in a strong buy. This is the mixed trading signal I was telling you about on a 5-minute and a 15-minute chart, and then still in a strong sell. Okay, obviously, I think the announcements we have in the economic calendar for the Canadian dollar, this afternoon, the core consumer price index, core retail sales, and the new housing index still weigh heavily, and that's why the USD Canadian pair is still very, very unsecure, let's say, very, very undecided today. Okay, the euro versus JPI and the euro versus the CHF, we see it in a strong sell, at least on 2 time frames for now. And the pound versus the JPY and the CHF seems set to strengthen a bit today. Okay, but the daily the daily trading signal still remains a strong sell. Now, coming back to Joao Monteiro, how is your Facebook signal group doing? Because I know you guys launched a Facebook signal group.
It's been amazing. I think we have been growing daily. We already passed the 1,500 mark in less than 2 weeks.
Than 2 weeks. Well done, congratulations.
So the signals are working. So it's free of charge. People just follow us on Telegram or Facebook groups. Yep. So it's very simple to follow, to apply the trade. We are preparing something that will make your life even easier now with the preparation of a nice indicator for our trading platforms, where you will just need to follow what the signals that are shown in your trading platform,
like copy trading, basically.
We see the signal. You just open what the signal tells you to do. It's quite an interesting and easy way to do it. And we are daily always trying to come up with new ideas. Yep. Is a very, as you know, very competitive market. So we try to be always on the be pioneers, let's say, on many new products for this industry. So we are working on always on bringing the best.
I know your trading signals have an accuracy of up to 75% sometimes, or most of the times.
Yes.
They tend to do really, really well. And I know there's another thing going on. I know you're cooking quite a few things in the Cook Islands.
Correct.
Now, if you want to get the trading signals and join the Facebook group, guys, all you have to do is go on forexy.com and customer support will contact you shortly. You don't have to fill in a questionnaire or anything like that. You're going to have 2 messages that will pop up in at the bottom right hand side of the screen, okay, with their Facebook group and more details about trading. Now, tell us about your latest thing. I see you are still maintaining the fact that traders can deposit and pay in installments. How does that work? Because it's unseen, unheard of so far, at least.
No, I see, as I mentioned, I think in one of our previous conversations, the idea here is obviously to facilitate and to provide solutions for the clients. We have been understanding that it's hard, especially after this COVID period, where there was some difficulty on the deposits and on funding their trading accounts. We managed to come up with a product which I believe it's great, and I wish I had this when I was 18 years old. That is the possibility exactly to deposit in installments. You agree just how many periods, how many months do you want to deposit, and you split your deposits into up to 10 months, and so we allow you to trade, and we give you a credit of that full amount up front, and you just are obliged just obviously to fund your account by the installment every month. So it's very, very easy. No interest, no charges, no hidden fees. As simple as I just mentioned.
I'm with you. And on top of everything else, from what we see on the screen, your rating is a 5-star rating most of the times. It's excellent rating on Trustpilot.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys are doing really, really well. You have quite a few reviews, and I'm sure more reviews are coming on every day.
I'm very proud for my team, and also for all the efforts that they have been putting in order to not only to get the recognition, but also to get a very positive feedback. What is important, traders and people around the world to understand, is that this is a very competitive world. We see always good, bad reviews everywhere, because it's part of sometimes of a guerrilla marketing
exactly
strategy.
That's what I wanted to say.
From
this
competition.
Is the new marketing
so
strategy.
You will always see good and bad reviews from any broker that you type on Google. What for us gives us a good peace of mind is that Trustpilot is a renowned and reputable review service.
Yep.
And so we are happy that at least on the main review websites we have more positive reviews than I would say the top 10 brokers in the world. So if you compare it, it's remarkable.
Forexy is a fairly new broker. You've been around for about 3.5 years now. 3.5 years.
Yes.
You remember, I'm one of your first followers, because when you started, I actually wanted to pick on you for being an offshore licensed broker.
Thank you for your honesty.
But no, seriously, because I was like, okay, another offshore broker, another one that's trying to
offshore,
advertise. You do offer 400 to 1 leverage, which is great. You are heavily regulated, by FSC. Okay,
and we also important
the word after word.
And important to understand that we are also giving the 20,000 euros investor compensation fund, which is in line with what is being covered within Europe. So
it's quite unheard of, especially when you're talking about an offshore regulated entity. Okay, you got many awards. I was, let's say, I was lucky enough to present one of them last month.
Yes,
very well done for that. I know you've been nominated again.
We've been receiving some nominations. As a matter of fact, it's been hard to manage all these nominations and also to distribute and to share it for voting, because we've really been focused now on the technology side of things and on new products. So we haven't been advertising as much as we could for this, even though for us is always a great moment and a recognition is always welcome. But we've been exactly focused more into providing the best for the clients instead of showing that we've been awarded, because awarded comes always as a consequence of a good service, a good product, and this is what I've always been focused on since the beginning.
True. Right, okay, guys, this was it from our side today. Join us again shortly after 4 o'clock for the US markets opening. Joe, thank you so much for being with us today. Great pleasure.
Thank you very much. My
Great
pleasure
to have you here today. We're going to try and broadcast the US elections live from this studio. I'm inviting you out front. If you can stay awake during the night, because obviously it's going to happen very late in the night in Europe. So I'm making this invitation public. You don't have to answer now. You have, let's say, 1 week to think about it. See if you can stay awake.
I'm sure I'll come with a red vest and a blue tie to match the US color.
I'm definitely going to wear the red tie and the blue jacket again to match the US elections. Guys, again, a big thank you to Joao Monteiro and Forexy for being with us today. Forexy's Global Forex Award winner. Yeah, 3 prizes in the last year and another 3 or 4 in the past couple of years. Forexy is doing really, really well. Joe, again, congratulations. Guys,
thank you.
Thank you for being with us today. Join me after 4 o'clock for the US market opening. Until then, remember to trade responsibly and may all your trades be in the money.